Continuing with the concept of dialect, I decided to show you this map of the country of Italy. It shows the various different dialects spoken throughout the Italian peninsula, the island of Sardinia, and the island of Sicily. Italy as a country is actually younger than the United States. It was founded on March 17, 1861. And prior to 1861, Italy was pretty much composed of individual city-states and regional territories and governments and kingdoms, such as the Kingdom of Sardinia and the Kingdom of Two Sicilies. My family comes from Italy. I am third generation American, but growing up, I was raised with the Italian language. However, my family specifically comes from Sicily. And Sicily has a unique and distinct dialect compared to the mainland. And I remember one time, my first time visiting Italy, I was in Milan. I thought I would use some of the words that I learned growing up with the people who were in Milan, and no one understood what I was saying. Not one person. I thought I was speaking Italian. They thought I was speaking some other foreign language. This is interesting because I said previously that a dialect is a subordinate variety of a language. And a common assumption is you can understand someone of a different dialect of the same language. And in general, that is true. And in actuality, there is a lot of similarities with the Sicilian dialect and proper Italian or mainland Italian. However, Sicilians do have some of their own words, and they say things slightly different. For example, in Sicily, we sometimes abbreviate Italian words. In Italian, when you say thank you say grazie. But in Sicily, you may hear someone say just simply grazie. In other words, which makes me laugh a little because for the longest time when I went out with dinner with friends and here in the United States, and they kept on saying at restaurants they wanted calamari. I have no clue what they were saying. I didn't know what calamari was. Calamari, of course, is squid. However, in Sicily, uh, many people don't say calamari. We say galemad. And so, for the longest time, I didn't know what some of my friends were saying when they were ordering calamari, or they were telling me they like calamari. So there is some differences and some distinctions that can take place within dialects of a language. Also, interestingly enough, Sicily has a unique history. Uh, just a little bit off topic. After World War II, when the Allied forces arrived in Sicily, the Sicilian people actually petitioned to have Sicily become a state of the United States. Today, the Sicilian island has its own parliament, even though it is part of. Obviously, it is still part of the country of Italy. However, many Sicilians do distinguish themselves from being Italian. In fact, uh, uh, if you if you ask a Sicilian if they're Italian, they may say to you, "No, I'm not Italian. I'm Sicilian." Continuing with in the area of sociolinguistics, let us look at the term vernacular. Vernaculars are non-standard varieties of a language. It generally refers to a language which has not been standardized and which does not have official status. Vernaculars are usually the first language learned by people in multilingual language communities, and they are often used for a relatively narrow range of informal functions. For example, within the English vernaculars, you may often find the use of the double negative. And sometimes vernaculars may indicate someone's social status or their level of prestige. Another term to be familiar with is register. A register is a style of speech that varies depending on who is speaking to who and in what context. A register often contains jargon. Different registers are used in different contexts. It is situational. There can be a different register for different occupations, even. In other words, a register refers to a variety of language defined according to its use in social situations. You could be speaking with one register in one situation and then speaking in a different register in a completely other context. Jargon refers to a special technical vocabulary associated with a specific area of work or interest. And of course, slang is colloquial speech, and it varies through different generations. Therefore, slang consists of words and phrases that are used instead of more everyday proper terms among younger speakers usually, or other groups with special interests. On the top of my head, an example could be, instead of saying $5, you may say $5. Or if you're in England, you could ask someone for £5, or you could ask them, can you spot me a fiver or £5? This concludes the general overview of linguistic anthropology. Following is a YouTube video about African American vernacular English. It is about 39 minutes long, but it is truly informative with regard to the history and debate centered around the use of African American vernacular English in the United States.